And we're live. Hi guys, and welcome to Easy Chat Live. And this is episode 117. And today I am with someone that I was really looking forward to get to my show for a long time. And I don't even know why I didn't ask her before, because it's Stef Negrin, the sales automation strategist, the funnel master, and absolutely awesome female entrepreneur who's killing it on Facebook. So if you're not familiar with her or not familiar with her group, you have to go and check her out, check her group out. Welcome, Stef.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on the show.
I am delighted to have you. Yes, me too. And you know what, guys? We haven't actually met in person, so this is very exciting. This is what I love about these easy chats. Hi, Lucy. I just like bringing people who we communicate a lot. We have a lot of laughs sometimes, in the comments and on Facebook. And then I love bringing people live. And you can see that basically this is now us meeting for the first time. And it's brilliant. I was looking forward to it. And I'm going to actually just going to take the advantage of this whole thing. And I have to say, when I started, when I came on Facebook, sort of started growing my own online business, it wasn't that long ago, to be honest, and things happen on Facebook that when you do something and you do it consistently, things happen quite fast. There's a huge difference that can happen in as little as 90 days, and a magic number, your life can be transformed. And Stef was one of the people who I actually came across first, maybe, in my first month, and I saw her and she did, I think I entered her group, and then she did a coaching session that was recorded, and I was like saying, this woman is just fantastic. I want to be like this online. I can do this offline, and you actually inspired me so much to start doing what I pretty much was doing. I had my digital marketing agency, and all my clients need little help. They might not be so techy, and they need to be explained in plain terms how to do things, and the whole kind of the systems and everything. And this is what I now do on Facebook, and teaching people how to use Facebook and how to organically market themselves. So this is very interesting. But what it was for me, the first thing was what was interesting is that you are teaching people about funnels. Mm-hmm. Your group, funnels and grind.
Mm-hmm. Funnel and grind. Yep.
Funnel and grind. Yeah, and. What amazes me is how many people who are entrepreneurs have no idea what sales funnels are in general. They just don't understand this, and therefore they're losing so many opportunities. So maybe you could explain to us, just give us some overview.
For sure. So, well, thank you so much for having me once again. And basically how I talk about sales funnels is thinking about a customer journey. And this could take different shapes and sizes. It doesn't always have to be this template that we always dream up in our heads where it has to be a landing page, a thank you page, this, that, and the third. It's really just having that customer journey mapped out in your head of the overall picture of where you want your ideal client to end up to, and all the steps in between to actually nurture them and give them the proper information to change their mindset around the topic that you're teaching them about, and also understand that this may be something that they actually need to succeed in maybe their life or their business, or even both. So that's kind of like the layman's term that I use for sales funnel. Like I said, it takes various shapes and sizes, but the very basic idea is to have someone go from just being a very cold lead, someone that doesn't know who you are just yet, and converting them into a raving fan of yours through various activities and actions that you take online or even offline even. So.
That's right, because not everybody actually a lot of people are never buy or engage with anything on the first encountering my English is so bad today, guys. You have to bear with me. I'm having a bad English day. When they come across something, they don't necessarily buy straight away, and people need to sometimes see things 8 to 9 times to actually engage even at the lowest level. So if you have a few packages, even at the lowest level, it takes some persuasion. And this is what I always teach with the attraction marketing on Facebook. You need to get them to know you. You need to get them to like you. You need to get them then to be interested in what you're doing as well. So this is what sales funnel is in a way as well. It's even what you're actually doing. So not necessarily, and of course in the plain templates terms, for those people who don't understand it, is you have your page, you have your sign up for this and this and this, and then the next page when they sign up is thank you page, and that's your funnel basically. But that brings you have their phone, you have their email address, you can do something with that, whether it's a challenge or whether it's whatever you are going to do that with that email address. But that's just an example of, in very, very plain terms. Hi, Jeff. Hi, Sally. And hi, Hazel. Hi, Mike. We have a few people watching us. This is great. So, Steph, tell me this. Just to give an example, let's say you as an example. So what do you have in place right now? What sort of systems do you have?
Sure. So the very first system that I teach my students and people that are in my free group is having what's called a profile funnel. And that's something very low tech. You don't need any special tools or softwares in order to do this. You just have your Facebook profile, which I'm assuming all of you already have. So what we start off doing is figuring out what is it that we want our ideal client to do as a next step. So for me, it was bringing more people into my free Facebook group. So in my cover photo, which everyone has, there's an area where you could promote, whether it be your free group, whether it be a freebie or call to action like book a discovery call. So making sure to use all the real estate that you have on your Facebook profile in order to funnel people into the next step of whatever your customer journey is laid out to be. So what I found was really interesting was something that happened about a week and a half ago. I have a friend who was in New York. I saw that he posted from JFK, which is the airport here in New York. And I just wrote a simple comment. I said, hey, are you in New York? Let's meet up. About 2 hours later, I received an application for my discovery call sessions from a complete stranger. Like, I've never spoken to this individual, never connected with him, not even a Facebook friend. And when I got on the phone with him, I learned that he found me through that post, saw my comment, clicked over to my profile, saw my call to action for my free group, joined the group, found my application, filled it out, and now we're on the phone. So that is the perfect example of a funnel in the very simplest format. I didn't need ClickFunnels. I didn't need lead pages. I didn't even need an email address. I just needed a way for someone to find me online, a quick application, maybe even Equity. That's what I use, a very simple format. And that way he could just book a call and we could talk on the phone. So it's very, very simple, low cost, and something that you can implement in an afternoon.
It is very efficient, isn't it? Exactly. You can implement it very easily, or even if you're not very techy, you need some help, both of us are in this business, we can give you a hand. But it's so simple. And I personally, do you use ClickFunnels yourself?
Yeah, I do.
You do? Okay. I don't use ClickFunnels because I went and checked them out and I thought that they were too expensive, and in terms of saving my time, because I can make websites quite fast, it was as easy for me to do that and then, do all the messing around. But I was just wondering, because you mentioned that you don't need them. But look, at the end of the day, you do need to have a system to bring a person from just hovering over your profile. We call it a profile funnel. And I teach that in my course as well, how important it is to optimize, your cover image, and how important it is to have a very attractive profile picture that you're likable straight away, because that's all you get. You get half a second of somebody hovering over you. It's one of the most basic ones. But like in your case, that can lead very quickly to you actually getting on the phone call or even making business. I had exactly the same situation when somebody commented on something and a friend of theirs saw my profile, and an hour later I sold my services. So this is just the basics of the funnels. What can we look at in terms of more complex situation?
So, for example, if you are a course creator, this is kind of as complex as it may get. So you have something that's called a value ladder. And this looks the same for a service provider, but for someone that's creating a course, it takes various stages. So the first stage is you're giving something away for free. You know, like you mentioned before, you have your landing page where you're giving away maybe a cheat sheet or a video series, and they have to give in their email address for you to send them the free PDF guide. So that is the first exchange. Then the second exchange could be you're giving them something of a little bit more value for a little bit more cost. So that's what something is a one-time offer or tripwire. There's different names for it.
Mini course, yeah.
So what we do there is I like to give them a little taste of what my teaching style is. So this may look like a mini course, like one lesson from my overall signature program, so that way they have the intro of that, they get very quick actionable tips from that, and they can kind of move on with their day. So that's the next tier. We have our freebie and our tripwire. Then the next one could be like a lower value course. So not so much the tripwire, but something that maybe is like $4.97 or $2.97. So it's giving them even more information, but maybe they're not ready to invest in your highest coaching package or training. So that's something for them to just get a very quick win. So for example, if I am a business coach and my one-on-one trainings are, building out your whole system. But in the very beginning, it may look like how to create your first website or how to get your first paying client. So it's very first level information that you're giving them so that they have a quick win to then be able to catapult them into maybe affording your higher ticketed services. So it continues in that route. Then once you complete that, you could go into, your done for you services or your one-on-one coaching, your masterminds, retreats, if you like to do like in-person retreats. So by having that value ladder, you're meeting people at different stages of their business and also at their different investment levels, because we're not all comfortable dropping $10,000 to someone we just met off the street. But if you start off with micro commitments and micro wins that you give me, then I will be more likely to invest in the higher ticketed program. That's right. That's correct. And how far should one go, do you reckon, on their value ladder? It is limitless. It's amazing because right now I'm at a current stage where I've built out my value ladder, but I know I'm not done yet, right? I know that I could go as far up as a $45,000 program per year. Like I've seen people investing at that level once they're, in the millions, right? So it could be limitless depending on your ideal client, what stage in their business they are, the amount of value you give to them, because it's easy to charge money, but it wouldn't feel right if you're not actually giving the set amount of value back in return. So that's something to keep in mind. So it's definitely limitless, the amount of value that you could give to one person and in exchange for that investment level. That's amazing. That's really in a nutshell what that is. And this is at the basis of any online business and offline as well. But this is something to get your head around when you are starting off, or if your business is not going anywhere at the moment, maybe this is what you're missing. And this is what in my experience, a lot of people overlook actually having a value ladder of different offers, and it's so easy, you just have to. It's so easy to come up with some upsells or give something smaller, and get people in and get them to know, like, and trust you. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Exactly. How did it all start for you? How did you learn all this stuff? So, we all have, maybe we don't all have this, but I had a corporate job that I really did not want to continue being in. And for me, I had an idea that I wanted to start a photo booth business. I had experience in e-commerce. I had a small Etsy shop. I was trying YouTube. I was trying all the things, but what really changed that was me wanting to actually be an entrepreneur and starting this photo booth business. So I was researching, trying to see how I would start it, how I would raise capital, and get social media involved in that in order to promote it. So I remember watching a webinar, and then I got tagged, on Facebook Pixels. You start getting more of the same content. So I started seeing people selling courses about Pinterest and selling courses about Instagram and all those different marketing courses that we see online. And I was just amazed that people were making, I wouldn't say easy money, but they were making money that was leveraged. Because one thing that stressed me out was who's going to be taking these photo booths to the different venues. I don't drive. I don't really need to drive in New York. It's a metro area. I wasn't going to rely on my husband to drive or hiring people. It just stressed me out. Different entrepreneurs, different kind of phases. If you're in that business, congratulations to you. But for me, that's just too overwhelming. So I was intrigued to know how these entrepreneurs were making 6 figures per month just selling courses. So I bought these courses, I hired a mentor, a coach, and then I started getting deeper and deeper down into trying to figure out where I fit into everything. I didn't want to just create a course just for the sake of creating one. I kind of felt like a fraud. So I wanted to learn more about how to leverage the knowledge I already had with buying all these courses. So with creating my Etsy business, and I was selling things through social media, I was growing my Instagram account. So I was getting inquiries on, can you grow my Instagram account? Can you grow my Facebook fan page? So I started doing that, and I started doing that for free just to get some exposure on the ins and outs of social media management. So once I finally felt comfortable in charging, I looked on LinkedIn, which is a powerful tool, and I branded myself as a social media manager, and I got my first client within 2 days of me rebranding and actually putting myself and becoming visible online and showing up. So that's kind of how it all started. But then the transformation of what's happening in my business today was I knew that sales funnels was something that was very lucrative. It is something that a lot of people understand how to build one, the strategies that go behind that. And I would study people's funnels. If you were asking me what my hobbies were watching webinars, studying people's sales pitches, understanding each page of the funnel. That's what I do. And it's crazy, but it's true, right? So that's when I started realizing that I could implement this in my social media management business and create another stream of income for myself. So that's exactly what I did. And I guess, that's kind of where I am right now. And I was able to then quit my job and do this full time from just being visible and being known as the go-to person for funnels. And that's kind of where I'm at right now.
And that's how I found you. And tell me, what you do a lot of live videos. How did it start for you? And did it come easy, or was it difficult for you to start it? How did you overcome your demons? Tell me all about it.
So I kind of, I was already dabbling on video because I had this beauty, guru channel on YouTube, and I was trying to do that back in 2015. Which I think the videos have now been hidden because I was just super embarrassed about that. But I started that way, but I'm very afraid of talking in public. I have hives. I have to wear these high neck t-shirts because I break out in hives still. Yeah, it's just so bad.
What's going on with the hives, man? I don't know.
My corporate bosses, before I left that job, they were like, we noticed those hives. Do you want us to make you practice your speech in front of all the coworkers? And I was like, no, I'm fine. I can handle it. I'll just wear a turtleneck in July. That's okay. So
in New York,
in New York where it's humid. So I've always had that concern. So I was like, I really don't want to put myself out there. People will make fun of me. I never really liked the sound of my voice, just ridiculous mindset issues that I was facing. So I went to this convention in, I think it was February or April. where I met a lot of entrepreneurs that I was already talking to online, like a lot of my friends that I, adore. And I think someone started like the 30-day Facebook Live challenge. Sean Manaher, let's shout you out. So he started that, and I just wanted to kind of break out of this mentality that I have, because I knew that I had a message and that I would be of a disservice if I wasn't putting it out there for people to listen to. So my first video that I did was kind of a recap of the mastermind that I attended and my takeaways from that. It was, I had my notebook, I had my notes, and at the end of that live stream, I had people really thanking me for sharing some powerful ideas that I came up with from that mastermind. So it kind of snowballed from there. And that's where I kind of started Funnel and Grind, because I liked the momentum I was feeling. I liked sharing my ideas and my knowledge with people. And I had nothing to sell. I was doing done-for-you services for like chiropractors and real estate brokers. That wasn't the audience that was coming into my group. It was internet marketers and people that wanted to build funnels for themselves. So that kind of escalated with me just coming on every week and going live and taking polls from the group, trying to figure out what they wanted to hear and kind of giving them that free content. What ended up happening was I was booking coaching clients without even trying to. Like, I was getting people that were like, wow, I really like what you're doing. Can you please coach me? Like, I never put a package out there. I never changed my website. And they were like, I don't see this on your website, but I know you do it. Like, can we just work together? So I had to like make up a package on the fly and like, make sure I was providing value in that, which I was. So it just kind of all started from just taking inspired action and silencing those like little voices in your head that tell you you're not good enough, that, there's a ton of people that are already out there doing the same exact thing. What makes you different? And the thing I have to say to you, if that's what you feel, is yes, there's a lot of people in this space doing the same exact thing, but there's only one of you. There's only one Juliette. There's only one Stef Negrin. And no one could duplicate that, no matter if they copy all the words on your sales page, no matter if they buy fake testimonials. No one could take the essence that is you. So
don't buy fakes. No, everything is authentic. It's not me, of course. It's not talking about me. This is funny what you said, because actually it's true. Let's say myself and you, we do a lot of things that are very similar, and probably although some of the things are different, I'm more concentrating on Facebook organic marketing. But in terms of done for you, social media marketing and coaching, everything could be pretty much the same. But as you just said, there's plenty of fish in the sea. Mm-hmm. And there's some people that will get affected by me and they will be indifferent to you, and the other way around, exactly. The same, so we are all working with people. This is what I always preach, and I preach it in my new Facebook course, that it is actually all about you. It's not about your brand, and it's not about the name of your business, and it's not about your business page, and it is about you. So you start building up your profile, and then, business comes from that, because people just get affected by how you are, you're shining your light. Mm-hmm. The other thing that I need to mention, this comes down to a lot of small business owners, especially the ones that have physical stores. There's too much concentration on competition and what they do, and they copy us and they copy. Just be as good as you can be in your own way. People love you. They'll come into you because you have you there, or your staff members, and that's why they come back. It doesn't matter what your competition does, unless they're doing something better than you. Then you need to take, just have a look what they're doing and do it even better. Exactly. That's all I have to say. And don't waste time bitching about your competition. I had to say this, because it's been a recurring thing that I hear from people, and I'm like, you're wasting your time. I'm not even saying that you're wasting my time, but you're wasting your time. So that's what happens. And see, now what else happens is that when I get distracted and I say something, I forget what I wanted to ask next. And I told Stef that before. But you know what? I'm going to ask you a question. In your own entrepreneurial journey, what would you say was the biggest mindset shift that changed something and then everything started going very well?
I think for me was that the things I was saying was not impacting anyone. And we had this conversation before we got on live. But for me, it's, oh, my delivery is so basic, or the message that I have is so basic, it's not going to really impact anyone because they all know this information.
That's what you thought. That's
what I thought. And the shift that I had since then, and this is something that's reoccurring, it's not something that kind of goes away, but the message I got back was from one client, and we had a intensive session. And for me, I was disappointed at the end, and she was like ecstatic. So it was like that weird shift. Like I was like, oh, was that good enough? And she was like, are you kidding me? I have so much, like I wrote pages and pages of notes. You were just like talking a mile a minute, and I was just like taking it all down. So then when we got off the call, I was just like, oh, maybe I could have said a little bit more, a little bit, whatever. It hit her to the point where we got on the phone like a week later, and she booked a $1,000 client. Then the next week booked another $2,000. So that was $3,000 total, just from like an hour and a half session that we had. And for me, it was like, oh, okay, so I need to stop complaining about my little mindset shifts. That's just like the little ego just getting to you and disrupting your thoughts. But what shift I took from that experience was like, I am a freaking badass. Like, I need to stop discounting myself and thinking that, I'm saying the same thing everyone else is saying and I'm a broken record, where people are getting impacted with the message that I'm giving, and they might hear something that they've heard before, but they now hear it in a different interpreted way. So it impacts their life and they make an inspired action from that. So I think that's like the biggest shift. And it just happened. Like, I've been in this business and I've always had those like doubts if I don't know if this is going to continue, if my momentum is going to die out, but that's just, something that kind of solidified it. And it's like, no, it's not dying, and you need to stop that negativity because it will die if you keep going down that route.
Well, the thing about the momentum is that if you're consistent in your actions and you just continue doing what you're doing, you show up every day and you do things. They don't have to be massive. They can be very, very small things. But believe me, there will be something that somebody will get some sort of value. I had in my group, I was restructuring, the theme days. I had a little block last week. I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do in my daily life. So I want to come up and do a daily live in my group, at least in my group. And I don't know, I'm just stuck on what am I going to tell them, because I can do trainings every time, but that could be too much training as well. So what am I going to do? And I did some trainings this week, and today came in Thursday, and I was like, what am I going to do? So I did a Thursday rant. I just went in on a rant because there's something that was annoying me, and it was, how people communicate. Some people communicate through Facebook Messenger and create the distractions, and, the more friends you have on Facebook, the more people you're open up. So some people don't understand the concept of personal time, and and they can be very, very I wouldn't use the word aggressive, but really impulsive, and sort of like, hi, are you there, answer me now, and you're there, well, I'm actually doing something important now, I really, really don't want to talk, or type is the worst thing, so I went on a rant, and you know what, I think that was grand, it was just coming up and doing something, and the momentum is still growing because you're creating this connection. It's like when you're having a cup of tea with someone. You're not necessarily, sometimes you're just going to go on a mad one, but people want that too, especially on social media, because it is social media and you need to be social, and sometimes you need to be serious and give value in terms of knowledge, and sometimes you need to give value in terms of being a person and just being yourself and being authentic and go on about what's in your head there. And, that's all it's all about, I think. Okay, so let me have a think. I wanted to give you an opportunity to maybe promote whatever is going on now and promote it to all my audience, your audience. Tell me about what the hottest offer you have on.
So the best way to kind of get the newest information that I put out is through my free Facebook group, and you could type funnel-and-grind.com, and that'll redirect you into the group. And what I'm going to be doing in the coming weeks is putting together a challenge. So it's a 5-day challenge on getting your first paying client or your next paying clients. I'm fleshing it out right now with my paid group. So once that's done and they have results, I'm going to take it to the free group to have you guys go through that as well. So that's currently what I'm working on very digitally. I can't talk. But yeah, so that's the current news that I have right now.
Brilliant, brilliant. And talking about challenges, I actually started a free challenge today. It's the 2 weeks challenge. And if you're on my post, if you go into my personal profile, you will see a link to it. You can sign up. And it's all about creating visibility. It's a visibility push challenge. And we will be talking about your message and, a bit of a clarity, clarity explaining to people what you are, doing some lives, and just helping you align what you are with how you appear on social media here and giving your personal profile a little boost. So we're going to exercise attraction marketing in the next 2 weeks. So if you want to sign up, you can sign up here and definitely keep an eye. Join Stef's free group and then keep an eye out for the 5-day challenge as well. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We have a few people, we had a few comments there that I completely ignored. And I tell you why I ignore them. Because I have a squirreled brain. If I see a comment, I'm like, squirrel, and I completely forget what I was talking about. And this is why I forgot what I wanted to ask Stef. So it's all your fault, guys. I'm going to blame you. And on that note, we're going to say goodbye. Well, Stef, thanks a million for joining me. I really had a blast. And I'm glad that we met now face to face. This is brilliant. I can't fly to New York, I'm afraid. When you said that you went and you met people and who you knew already on Facebook, and I'm saying for me, it's like, well, if I win the lottery maybe, or, just take over the world, but I'm here in Ireland and I'm so far.
Oh, we'll do it out there,
guys. So, okay, guys, hit that love button and give us some Facebook love so I don't feel so lonely here in Ireland. And we will see you then maybe next week with some more interviews, and definitely join our challenges and join our groups. Okay, Stef, thanks a million.
Thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye. Bye-bye.